Welcome back, viewers. It's James Kalm, the half-assed, your half-assed reporter, the guy on the bike. It's a special shout out to our friends in North London, Wales, and Spain. And we're going to run in here to the Martos Gallery. We're going to look at an exhibition by Jennie Jieun Lee, and the title of the show is Sizzling, Gouba, and Long Beach. Well, I was impressed when I came by the gallery and peeked in and decided I would try to bring you viewers along for a little tour. We can maybe hit another gallery or two down here in the Bowery, Lower East Side. This is titled Onibaba, glazed ceramic and acrylic oil pencil on wood. I was impressed with the way that Jennie mixes the idea of ceramics and painting. In the press release, they talk about her being influenced by Abstract Expressionism. And, well, I think it's nice the way that she's kind of melding the painting on the surface of the wood or the panels and the glazing. It's titled Stanley 2019. Glazed ceramic, magic smooth and pencil. I don't know, maybe the this kind of silicone looking stuff is the magic smooth. Also, there's some paint on there. I don't know, that's maybe gesso, acrylic white. I like the way that Jennie kind of masses her little ceramic spun forms together and plays with the color on these. Also, this is titled Suspended Sagger and Lines 2019, glazed ceramic, magic smooth and pencil. I noticed that Jennie has covered a couple of the larger panels with linen, and I think that's one of her devices that she uses to kind of reinforce her point of being she's interested in the idiom of painting. To quote Derrida, although these are definitely on wood panels, because I don't think you'd be able to get a stretched canvas to hold these surfaces. She really is masterful with her glazing and the colors that she achieves. It's titled Monday at Noon 2019, 29 by 20. I'll read a little bit from the press release. Jennie Jieun Lee, born 1973, Seoul, South Korea, received a BFA from the School of the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston in 1999, and an MFA from California State University, Long Beach in 2019. Okay, if you've ever ordered Sizzling Gouba, you know it's not an order for the timid. The loud crackling of sizzling rice at the table commands the attention of starers. If you're a young child out with your family, this dish is served with a generous side of embarrassment. personal history and other moments of introspection make up Jennie Jieun Lee's Sizzling, Gouba, and Long Beach at the Martos Gallery. Well, okay, so I like this piece with the shelf, and in a lot of ways I'm looking at these works and thinking that they're almost more like tabletops. And I guess in that way they would relate to, what's his name, Spereri, the French nouveau realist artist. But again, beautiful glazing. And the way that Jennie kind of plays a very rugged, physical play with the ceramics against her abstract expressionist or funky paint handling part is it's a nice pairing. Now I'm looking at this and thinking of a Schnabel. A Blade on Storm, 2019. So all the panels are probably about 3.5, 4 inches thick. And here she's just left the raw wood. Yeah. These elements of the shelves on here, they really do kind of extend beyond the realm of painting. And this is like a little head study. The other thing I'm wondering is, I don't know whether it would be considered cheating, but I think that some of this is not straight glaze on the ceramics. I think some of this is paint. This is CSULB 2019. Glazed ceramic acrylic oil pencil on wood, 42 by 32. I was thinking it was Leo Steinberg, I believe, that was talking about Rauschenberg and saying that his Combine paintings and some of his works on paper kind of related to the flat bed of a press, and he said that that was kind of a new way of thinking about visual space. Was more horizontal, which kind of what I think of when I look at these. This is Wrigley, 2019. Okay, so she's gone and worked over on the edges. Gosh, that's kind of interesting. The drawing on the ceramic. Well, excuse me if I'm doing my little close-up scenes a little too fast. I keep getting suggestions from viewers that I should move a little slower, but sometimes I get excited. This is titled Long Beach Boulevard. And, well, yeah, it's an interesting idea to think about whether or not you would conceive of these bowls or these little cups differently if you just saw them sitting on a table, maybe. I think Jennie Jieun is actually a pretty good sculptor. And yeah, she gets a wonderful kind of lexicon of textural surfaces. An index. Let me get some spray paint. This is titled No Arms. Kind of a reference to a classic Venus de Milo. It's titled Male Guarding. I think this might be one of the more coloristically sophisticated pieces, and yeah, I like her. It's almost like little color samples that she's got in there. That's 54 by 20. This is titled Emotional Intelligence. Well, yeah, I'm getting a lot of kind of echoes. One of them is Carol Dunham did a bunch of work in the late 80s, early 90s that he was sticking styrofoam balls on and pouring paint on, but he has a great kind of scribbly handwriting that will also add on a lot of stuff. And also, of course, Twombly is kind of, I guess, a reference here. Okay, we're going to wrap up this little visit here looking at this piece. It's titled Grass, 2019, glazed as stoneware and porcelain, 200 pieces, dimensions variable. Well, I like this kind of keeping the palette all on this green end of the spectrum. And gosh, as your eye kind of slides across here, you get all kinds of variations. You get kind of a dry color, a shiny color, colors that have almost a metallic glint to them. A lot of this looks like it just kind of happenstance. It's not like it's planned. Oh, well, there's some nice blues. And I would imagine that piece got pretty heavy. Yeah, okay, so they've got that propped up and strapped onto the columns. That was a walkthrough of Jennie Jieun Lee, Sizzling, Gouba, and Long Beach here at the Martos Gallery. We're gonna cruise on. And now we're back on the Bowery, and we're going to cruise in here to Andrew Edlin and see a show I think you'll find fascinating. And I'm going to look at a show by Paulina Peavy. Lacamo, They Call Us Unidentified. I have seen a couple of Paulina Peavy Lacamo's pieces here in group shows, and I think Andrew might have had maybe a little suite of them in a show a couple of years ago. But, well, it's impressive to see a gallery full of this work. Also, they've got one of Paulina's videos playing in the back room, so that's the sound you will hear. It's titled Noah, Lacamo Genesis, 1953. Yeah, I'm not going to give the titles of all these. But I should read a little bit from the press release. There are a few figures in the world of arts and culture who have conjured a worldview so fully complete in its integral logic and yet as terrifyingly radical as Paulina Peavy. Okay, this is the part of like 1901 to 1999. Okay, that was Untitled, 1960s. And these are all watercolor on paper. This is Untitled, 1977. Peavy's artwork, writings, and films appear to those of us mired in conventional reality as unhinged. She painted while wearing a mask and served as a channel for a being she described as her personal UFO. Okay, that's Untitled, 1975. A highly evolved teacher from the future named Lacamo. The ability Lacamo gave her to see past and future helped her make her artwork indescribable and breathtaking in its sumptuous timelessness and world-making, or perhaps world-saving ambition. Okay, this is her first one-person show in New York City, and it says the gallery will feature a group of luscious, multi-layered paintings in which abstract motifs resolve into mystical figures. Both abstraction and figures illustrate the cosmology of her UFO revealed to her, as well as scores of more analytical drawings. Well, I think her personal story would probably make a nice little Netflix miniseries. This is Untitled, and they don't have a date. Watercolor ink and letter set on paper, 12 by 9. Okay, yeah. Let's just get a very interesting use of this sharp, clear line to kind of geometrically break up her forms, almost like layers of thread on there. I'll look at some of her paintings. It's titled Phantasma, circa 1980, oil on canvas, 24 by 30. This is interesting. Looks like she flipped it upside down and changed the position of her signature. It's a nice suite of little paintings. It's untitled, 1930s to 1960. Oil on board 20 by 16. And somehow it looks like there might be some spray paint in there. Well, they go on to talk about Paulina being in the same kind of visionary category as some other artists like Hilma Af Klint and Forrest Bess. It's untitled. Well, I seem to remember from reading one of her previous press releases that I think Paulina was located in California. Untitled, 1930s to 1960s. Well, there's a lot of glazing and overworking here. They say here in the press release that some of these paintings were worked on over decades, and that because these were seen as instruments for teaching and education rather than commodities to be sold in a gallery, that Lacamo, her mystic teacher, would keep changing them over the decades and keep working on them until he thought that they had got to the level that he wanted them to. This is actually a pretty nice painting. Also untitled, 36 by 24 inches. And here we've got some figurative elements with the hands and, gosh, phallus. These are actually a couple of major paintings. This is untitled, 1940s, 1950s to 1980. Oil on board. by 48. Well, again, a lot of interesting overlaying. Nice color, a lot of very sharply articulated figurative forms. So Paulina could get pretty sharp with her renderings when she wanted to. And gosh, I'm thinking that there was a whole tradition of kind of mystics in Southern California. Untitled, 1940s, 50s to 1980, oil on board, 72 by 42. like there's always as far as a painter goes, there's always a particular kind of thinking that goes into people that work with a lot of glazes over a long period of time. Peavy's artwork and writings deal with future sex, post-masculine gender roles, and mankind's place in the universe. Her visionary practice sits in a long trajectory with Joseph Campbell, Hilma Af Klint, Forrest Bess, Larry Mitchell, Valerie Solanas, and Agnes Pelton. Peavy would not likely have seen other earthbound visual artists as part of her tribe, given that Lacamo stated that no artist in your world could endure such a stretching of emotions. Okay. More large watercolors. I was just talking to one of the gallerists, and he was saying that some of the line work on these are letraset. It's untitled. Watercolor ink and letraset. So I guess those pieces that look like architectural rendering are letraset. I also found out that Paulina was born in Colorado, moved down to San Francisco when she was 6, and then at some point, I guess, moved to LA, went to a séance, and met Lacamo through a spiritualist, and then Lacamo told her to move to New York in 1941, so she moved here, and at least the word is that she was living on the Upper West Side, raising a couple of boys. It's untitled, no date, watercolor, ink, and letraset on paper, 20 by 13. Okay, we'll go in and take a glance at the films. Oh.
With no answering forward, she gauged the whys and hows of it. Time is often meaningless things stirs forth in reticence, by thought of its accumulation of luck and wind and forevermore.
Well, I guess there were several of these films that she basically put together as kind of educational aids to explain her theory of time and evolution. guess these are her masks.
And so we mortals are that very sweet, dwelling on misty-digit sounds. We represent our thought all night, the life has passed the figures has no light.
Oh gosh, I like that one.
And yet, deeply there within us is that spark of life. The unfold, unfolding all within is the fire within it, the meaning of the power.
James Kalm reporting on Paulina Peavy, Lacamo. They call us Unidentified. Here at Andrew Edlin Gallery. You can like this, share, recommend it to your friends. You can subscribe and link it to all of your social media sites. You can also leave your thoughts, ideas, comments, criticisms, and reviews below. We just ask you to say thank you, Kate.